Today I'd like to look at learning a tune using the CAGED system, and we'll take a standard tune. This is a tune called All of Me. It's a great standard, and those of you who are not familiar with the CAGED system, I have a couple videos on it. I didn't make it up. I learned it off a video many years ago from the great master Joe Pass, and he kind of boiled it down and made things make sense for me. So hopefully this is one way things can make sense for you. There's many different ways to approach learning anything, and I'm constantly learning myself, but this is one that has definitely helped me out. So the CAGED system, it's a little advanced. We're going to take it now. We're going to see how we can figure out a tune, a standard tune. Melody is real important. So knowing a melody, that's what makes the tune. When people go off and remember a tune in their mind, they're not thinking of the chord changes necessarily, although those are important. It's the melody. But we're going to reverse that. We're going to put the cart before the horse today, and we're just going to learn the chord changes. And let's just do that, and we'll force ourselves to learn in one position. So the chord changes for All of Me are, well, we're going to do it in the key of C, and start off with the C chord, and that's what we have right there. And then it goes to a dominant 3, which is an E7 chord. Sounds like All of Me, right? And then we're going to go to the dominant 6, which is an A7 chord. Now I'm just doing grab chords. We're up here in basically the 7th position. Whenever what we're going to do is we're going to force ourselves into that range of frets from basically the 6th, whatever. And we're going to force our hands into all these chord shapes. So we're going to start with the E shape C chord. Then it's the A shape E7, then it's the D shape A7, and you can kind of hear what's going on there. Moving to the 2, which is the E shape. We could bar it, but we're trying to stay in this position, so we'll do that one where our fingers are across here. D minor. Then we're back to the dominant 3. What happens next? Oh, then it goes to the 6 minor in the key. So we're going to do that A minor shape, which is that D shape. Then it goes to the dominant 2, and then to the minor 2, which is the dominant 2 is the E shape. I'm sorry, it's the G shape. What I say, E shape is the G shape. Okay, it's the G shape. Oftentimes I don't think this stuff, but it's good for me to think about it. And then we go to the D minor chord, which is the 2 of the key of C, and it is also the G shape. And finally to the 5, where we're finally coming up, which is the C shape. Okay. All right. I'll put all this stuff up here. All right. Simple enough, right? So here are the chords once again: C, E7, A7. What's next? E7. No. A7, D minor, E7, A minor, D7, D minor. See, I'm already trying to make music out of it by putting melody in there. Okay, so now let's start to put the horse before the cart, and let's try to put some melody in there. So the thing is this is just like a painter with a broad brush, just starting off with a blank canvas. So you're just kind of throwing the colors up there, and nothing's really coming into focus yet. That's okay. Just do the work. Here, do those chords, figure those out. The next thing you do is the melody. Okay, and this might take a little while, but that's all right. You can figure it out. Here's the melody, and basically spanning 2 octaves, so we can maybe make the melody happen on 2 octaves. But let's just start with the top octave. And you'll notice that's part of that C chord. And then the next part is part of this E7 chord. Right? The next part of the melody is this A7, which is, we can do here. There's our arpeggio for the A7 there, and we'll get to that in a second. But D minor. D minor. So I'm playing the melody, and then I'm throwing a couple of those notes from those chords in that position in with the melody. And then we're back to an E7. And then the E7 to the minor shape, A, D shape, A minor, and then to the D7, this is the G shape, D minor, G7. Okay, so now we're placing the melody in there with those chords shapes that we've learned. So, yeah, simple. Okay, so anyways, so here's the melody with the chord shape, C shape. And I'm going to start adding some other things. I'm just going lower, and then as a we can do the melody up here. Trying to force myself to stay in this position. So it's a good exercise, even for me, you know, who might be a little further down the road or whatever. But it's a good exercise because I'm forcing myself to stay in that position. You notice also, I lost my concentration, or lost my place once or twice. I don't know, maybe more than that. I wasn't counting. But the thing is trying to, at that point, I'm adding in those things that make it music. I'm trying to keep the time, play the melody. That's the most important, and I'm playing around the melody. I'm not totally improvising. I'm not just going off on my own. I'm following the chord changes, and I'm trying to make it so you know, it's interesting to listen to. Hopefully that was part of it. And anyways, I hope some of this stuff is making sense and getting you to where you would like to be. So great, have a good one. Bye.